Today we're going through the top 10 hardest punchers in UFC history, and we're putting a little twist on it. I'd say probably a big twist. Some people might not like this video, but I'm doing it based on resume and how the KOs looked, as well as just the UFC resume. I'm not doing the Pride or Strikeforce, none of that. I'm doing strictly UFC only. Some people might not like that, but it's okay. I'm just trying something different. See how it was. Let's get into it, starting with the honorable mentions. You can put different people here if you want. This took me the longest to figure out. I definitely think you can switch some of these guys out with others, and I wouldn't be mad at it at all. Starting off, though, Justin Gaethje, Cain Velasquez, and of course, Mark Hunt. Justin Gaethje, this dude has made every single one of his opponents bleed. Every single one except Khabib. That's it. This dude's a former BMF, former interim lightweight champion, and now the UFC lightweight champion. You gotta put this dude in at least honorable mentions, dude. Like, you just have to. He's got wins over Poirier, Ferguson, Fiziev, Chandler, Cowboy, Barbosa, Michael Johnson, and he's one of the most exciting fighters in the UFC. Gaethje's probably the hardest puncher, or one of the hardest punchers in the light heavyweight division ever. It's him and Ilya Topuria. But nearly every punch he throws, he's trying to throw the knockout, dude. We see this guy throwing punches, man. He's overthrown like crazy in damn near all of his fights. But he's looking to make the opponent bleed, and he's looking to put him out cold. His knockout to win the BMF against Poirier, just great, dude. The finish against Barbosa was amazing. And, dude, Gaethje's just, dude, it's scary. When someone sees Justin Gaethje, bro, it's like, I gotta be ready. And Ilya Topuria, man, he just wasn't ready for it. He didn't listen to his brother's advice. But Justin Gaethje definitely could crack the top 10 someday. But the heavier weight classes, dude, I feel like there's going to be more of them than some of these smaller weight classes. Next up, Cain Velasquez, two-time heavyweight champion. Everybody talks about, oh, he beat Brock Lesnar, dude. Brock Lesnar's nothing, okay? He's really not. He's just hyped up because he was in the UFC. He's a good wrestler. Brock Lesnar is a damn good wrestler, but it's just, I think that's something where the resume for Cain Velasquez, it's not too great, but he is a hard puncher. And some people at one point were calling him the biggest star in heavyweight ever. But the overwhelming pressure from Cain, the brutal ground and pound, he hurts his opponents and he doesn't let them recover, dude. That's why I'm putting Cain Velasquez in the honorable mentions, dude. As for Mark Hunt, dude, I really think you could switch Mark Hunt out for maybe a Dan Henderson, maybe. But he's got wins over Roy Nelson, Frank Mir, Chet Congo, and some people say at one point he was the greatest kickboxer to compete in MMA. He's got a great chin too, but his right hand, dude, it's heavy. He's got a real heavy right hand. But yeah, dude, I think you can put some different people here, and I wouldn't be mad about that. But this is just who I picked. I definitely think you could switch this around for sure. But starting off in the number 10 spot, we're going with the heavyweight GOAT, the greatest heavyweight of all time, Stipe Miocic, two-time heavyweight champion, most title defenses in UFC history, and he would have beat Jon Jones if Jon Jones didn't duck him for how many years? He waited till Stipe got super old. Look at this. Stipe had such a huge gap between 2021 and 24. I believe if Stipe Miocic fought Jon Jones after, like, maybe a year after the Francis Ngannou fight, I think he would have really done some damage to Jon Jones. I really think so. But he's defeated guys like Verdum, JDS, Alistair, DC, and Francis, man. He's not this Stipe's not a guy, I understand. He's not the one-shot killer like Ngannou or Derrick Lewis, but the technical power, it's great. Textbook boxing. He didn't waste his punches, and he was just like perfectly timed. So I feel like you got to throw a guy like Stipe at least in the top 10 spot, I feel like. But he won the heavyweight title against Verdum with the right hand, beating Alistair Overeem, beating JDS. Like, I feel like Stipe is definitely deserving of the top 10 position. Number 9. I'm going Tom Aspinall, dude. I was debating on Tom Aspinall or Pereira in the 9 spot, but Tom Aspinall, the heavyweight champion, he is the fastest heavyweight finisher in UFC history. Like, look at this resume, bro. It's not a whole lot, but look, he's all in the first round. And then he submitted Arlovsky. We're not going to get into that, but he submitted Arlovsky in 2. So, Tom Aspinall, he's probably the most well-rounded fighter in the heavyweight division. Maybe the most well-rounded heavyweight ever. But Tom Aspinall definitely has power. Knocked out Blades, knocked out Pavlovich, Tybura, Spivak. Like, the only reason he's got this loss to Curtis Blades is because of an injury, dude. And I think when Cyril Gane comes back, it's gonna be Bully Tom, and he's gonna get the knockout in 1, dude. He's going to. But Aspinall's power and speed and accuracy, dude, it can't be underrated. And I think Tom Aspinall is definitely deserving of a top spot here. Maybe recency bias, but just let me know, dude. Let me know. Next up, Ilia Topuria. Now, this dude, he's on a run, okay? I can't say he was on a run. But, dude, something I gotta say, bro. Ryan Hall, people forget, dude, like genuinely, people actually forget. Ryan Hall was submitting everybody. Nobody could get past Ryan Hall. And then Ilya found his way to knock him out, dude. Or TKO, whatever. It was still beautiful. The performance he put on against Josh Emmett, this just proves Josh Emmett's got a crazy chin, bro. Crazy chin. Knocks out arguably one of the GOATs in the coming years. Like, nobody does that to Volkanovski except for the greatest ever, and that's Islam and Ilya. I can't say Ilya's like the Justin Gaethje thing. It's a little rough, so he's got to get back on track, but nobody had knocked out Holloway, and nobody slimed out Charles Oliveira cold like that. But, dude, you can't deny Ilia Topuria. You can't. And maybe you could put him up higher. Maybe you could put like a Stipe higher on this list, but this is where I got Topuria. First man to ever finish Holloway. Like, that's crazy. And he's one of the few featherweights or lightweights to have that kind of power. Besides McGregor, dude. The durability of Topuria. It was great, dude. It was great. But he wasn't smart, dude. In the second round, he had Gaethje, and he didn't take it. But that's enough of that, dude. Ilia Topuria is one of a kind with his power, and I think he definitely is deserving of this spot. Next up, Alex Pereira, former middleweight and light heavyweight champion. And there's only a handful of double champs, you know? He's got 8 knockouts in the UFC. He's knocked out guys like Adesanya when Adesanya was still good, but then he lost to Adesanya. Knocked out Yuri Prohaska. We know how good Yuri Prohaska was here. People riding high on him. Jamal Hill, crazy knockout, dude. Gets kicked in the nuts and just boom, it's over. And then he beats Prohaska again. Loses to Ankalaev by decision. Goes out there in the first round and TKOs him, man. And this guy, man, like, okay, he knocked out Sean Strickland. Sean Strickland's been knocked out once before in his younger days, but nobody's knocking out Strickland. So I rate that really high, especially with Sean Strickland now being the middleweight champion. This is why I was originally going to put Pereira a little farther back. But this win is aging very well for Alex Pereira. He doesn't have the most KOs, but the left hook, nobody wants nothing to do with that. Nobody wants to deal with that at all. Next up, for some reason, this is the only picture that I could get this blurry, nasty looking picture of Anthony Joshua, RIP. Now, some people probably won't agree with this, but the resume, it's stacked. It's not the greatest names, I know that, but if you're getting the knockouts and TKOs, you have 15 in the UFC. Like that says something about you, man. And this guy was on his way to fighting John Jones, but stuff happens, dude. Knocks out Teixeira, which is a great win. Gustafsson. Uh, so it's like, it's not the greatest wins, but when you're knocking out people 15, you got 15 knockouts on your record, I feel like that says something, man. He might not have won a title, but everybody that's fought this dude has said that he hits harder than anyone else. Back in the day, dude, his right hand could end the fights immediately. And a lot of people back in the day, dude, acting like I'm back in the day, dude. I'm young. I'm not back in the day, okay? But a lot of people believe that he had top 3 raw power in the UFC. So that's why I have Anthony Joshua. I keep trying to say Joshua, dude. Holy crap. I was watching that boxing fight the other day. All right. Anthony Rumble Johnson, RIP, man. What could have been? What could have been, dude? Next up, I'm putting Chuck Liddell, dude. The UFC light heavyweight champion, 4 title defenses, man. Like, he was one of the biggest stars ever in UFC history, and he's a Hall of Famer. That overhand right became legendary during his rise, man. Like, now, I wouldn't say, I feel like his record, the resume, is good. I wouldn't say it's phenomenal. Like, I feel like Pereira's got a better resume than this. But it was back in the day, dude. Like, competition is not what it was then. So, he got the knockout over Overeem and Pride, but I'm not counting that, okay? We're being really strict here today. I'm doing something different, okay? Um, but obviously Chuck Liddell's not, he doesn't have the most power. You see during the end of his time, he was getting knocked out like crazy. He got really chinny. But dude, when he's April 2004, he was on a roll, man. He was on a roll. The timing and the ability, when people were moving backwards, that's when he'd go for the kill. That's when he'd go for it. He's quite the knockout artist, dude. That's why I got Chuck Liddell at 5. The Tito Ortiz, Randy Couture, who I rate pretty high. Not on this list. Randy Couture's not on this list, but I rate it pretty high. Next up, JDS. Now, I feel like you could do something different here, but I feel like if you got a win over Derrick Lewis by TKO, I feel like that says something. You're pretty good, man. And this guy, former champ, former I almost said light heavyweight champion, beat Cain Velasquez to win the belt. 10 knockouts in the UFC, and a lot of people would say, dude, arguably the best boxing in heavyweight history. The right hand, super fast, and it had power to it. Like, this guy, people didn't want to mess with JDS. Nobody wanted that smoke. But obviously the best KOs, Kane, Verdum, Mark Hunt. Some people say Frank Mir. I think Frank Mir's super overrated, dude. I do. Like, if you lost to Brock Lesnar, I don't think you're that good. But, yeah. So I got JDS at the 4th spot. Now for number 3, taking Alistair Overeem. Now, Alistair Overeem, he's obviously juiced. Like, look at this guy. He's juiced as hell. But this guy is just crazy, dude. Title challenger. Never ended up getting the title, but dude, the power that this dude possesses was unlike no other. The way he would hit, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. And his first fight in the UFC, a lot of people rated this super high. I don't rate it high at all. Good knockout, but his first fight was against Brock Lesnar. So, but it's not just about the accomplishments. So, like, this resume doesn't look too great, but the power. I don't think you understand. Juiced Overeem, man. This guy is something else. And I'm not a huge fan of people when they juice, but the UFC at this time wasn't really doing a whole lot for the juicing. You know what I mean? Like, they just didn't care. They weren't as strict. But as time went on, you could tell Alistair Overeem's physique was not the same. As time went on, dude, he did not look the same at all. But Pavlovich, a great win. Um, JDS, a great win. People say Lesnar. I don't rate that at all. But yeah, dude, the power of Overeem, something else. Mark Hunt, the punches and the knees, just really destructive, man. Loved Alistair Overeem, watching his tape. Just amazing. At number 2, Derrick Lewis. Look at this resume, dude. Derrick Lewis has been here forever, and I couldn't even get all the names on here because Derrick Lewis has been here for so long. But obviously, this is the record holder for the most knockouts in the UFC. Derrick Lewis, man, one of a kind. Really never been like slumped out cold by anybody. But man, this dude's got power in his hands. He's had multiple title fights. Obviously, it's not one. What a life it would be if Derrick Lewis won a title. Holy crap. But got wins over Blades, Volkov, um, just so many people, dude. Derrick Lewis, ooh, excuse me. Derrick Lewis, he doesn't need perfect technique. We know this. We've seen in this fight against Teixeira. And I was just talking about this in my last video. If he can come out just swinging like crazy right away, he's getting the knockout. Nobody wants that. But you can be, I wouldn't say this anymore, but at one point, like maybe back in the like 2020s, if the fight's going for 14 minutes and the other guy's up, bro, one right hand that connects on your chin from Derrick Lewis, good night, dude. The king of knockouts. Like, this guy is not to be messed with. One of the greatest, hardest hitters of all time, dude. Obviously, we know who number 1 is, but like Derrick Lewis, he's just different. He's a different breed. And of course, Sean O'Malley for number 1. No, we got Francis Ngannou, dude. Francis Ngannou. He's only lost to Derrick Lewis and Miocic. Never been knocked out. But look at this, man. Uh, Arlovsky, Overeem, Blades, Velasquez, Dos Santos, Rosenstruck, Miocic. Like, these are. He's got 10 knockouts in the UFC, dude. We've seen him punch that machine. He has the hardest punch in the world. Um, Former UFC champion, and he's still going at it, dude. He had a fight in May. We're not talking. He's obviously not in the UFC anymore, but this dude, he still got it. He really does. But everybody was scared of Francis Ngannou. And I'm realizing now I don't know how to spell. I forgot the C. I apologize if that makes anybody upset. I don't know what is wrong with me, but this guy just super feared, dude. The uppercut against Overeem, like, you can't deny that. That is the greatest, heaviest punch you've ever seen in your life. Don't even lie to yourself. Like, if you don't think so, you're just lying to yourself. That was the way Overeem's head snapped back. Just insane, man. The size, the speed, the explosiveness, the strength of Ngannou. Like, look at this guy's physique. If I'm seeing this dude in public, I'm walking the other way, dude. But, yeah, dude. That's what I got for the hardest punchers in UFC history. Could switch some guys around. I wouldn't be mad about it, but wanted to do something different. Some people might not like the style in which this video was made, but I went off power, resume, and just UFC stats. I don't think a lot of people are going to like that, but that's what I did. Wanted to make it different. Yeah, so those are the top 10 hardest hitters in UFC history. Thanks for watching.